Hi, everyone. So this is going to be a little different. I'm not going to do a reading. I am going. Hi, Holly, psychic medium, energy reader. I got a comment, and it looks like it's already been removed before I could respond to it, or anyone else could respond to it. So I'm going to respond this way. It's not bad. So I don't want you to think my ramped up energy is any indication that it was anything bad. It wasn't, but I felt like it wouldn't do justice to try to just type it in for that one comment. Okay, because I feel this a lot. I get this a lot, even from friends, acquaintances, whatever. This is more of a I guess I would call this a self-help video, okay? This is not based on anything other than my personal experiences and my opinions. So here you go. If you are in the middle of a life crisis, or if you are in the middle of a difficult situation, a reading is not what you need. What you need is either counseling, legal help, uh, something along those lines in what I would call the mundane world, right? So make a plan, basically, is what it means. So my self-help talk, if you are in a situation, and I think a lot of us, hi baby. So if you are in a situation where a lot of people are right now, family gatherings can be hard. Friendships can be hard. If someone you feel doesn't get you, if you feel like someone is being abusive, if someone is being physically abusive, call the authorities and get help. If someone is being verbally abusive, if you feel like that when you're around someone, they're constantly degrading, belittling you, then the question I would ask is, why are you still going around them? So this brings me to my point. This is the self-help part. We do things because we want to do them. We allow people in our lives because very often we feel like that's all we're worth. We rely too much on what other people are thinking of us, or dictating our self-worth and value. And I haven't scripted this, so if I go, I'm totally off the cuff, so if it's a little disjointed, I'm sorry. That's kind of the way my brain works. The only way to get out of a situation that you are in with someone, it doesn't matter if it's a family member, a spouse, a significant other, a friendship, a community, if you feel like, and you are taking full accountability for your own actions, you are in control of your actions, then maybe it's time to find a different one, or maybe it's time to get an action plan together. I'm not saying stop things immediately. I am not one to quit a job before I have another. I am not one to put myself in jeopardy financially, my independence, whatever, just because I get mad about something, or I feel like people don't get me or understand me. Who cares? I got to have a roof over my head. I got to have food to eat. I got to take care of the babies here, little fur babies, right? So you have to think, and this is general. Again, this is just my opinion, purely my opinion, and I don't matter to you. I care about this community we're creating. I dearly care about this community, but on a day-to-day basis, it's got to be coming from you. You've got to learn to love yourself, okay? And I'm telling you, as a psychic medium, I know that we all have perfect souls. It's a matter of acting on that and having a game plan. I'm a firm believer in having plan A, B, C, D, and if you have to have them, the rest of the alphabet. If someone is financially supporting you, if someone can pull your strings, cause you to be homeless, cause you to be without food, causes you to, perhaps children are involved, I get the restraints that can cause. But that is something that is the number one factor. It has nothing to do with relationship status or spirituality. In my personal opinion, it has to do with independence and your ability to take care of yourself. If you are in a situation, you are at someone else's house, apartment, whatever. If you're at someone else's home and they start saying horrible things to you, then why are you staying? Just say, hey, I'm going to go home now. I'm a little tired. You can put it on yourself, or you don't even have to do that. You can just say, this conversation is making me uncomfortable. I think it's time I go home now. So I hope you have a good night. Why engage? If you engage, be ready to fully engage, because that's probably what the other person wants. People like to push buttons. They do. They like to push buttons. If someone is at your home, now if they're paying for it, you really don't have independence. You really don't have the freedom of your voice, because you know where your bread is buttered. And no one's buttering my bread but me. And I have made sure of that pretty much my entire lifetime. From abusive marriages to abusive friendships to abusive work situations, I plowed through, and if I knew I needed to get out, I made a plan. I made a plan so that I wouldn't be left out with nothing in the cold and no place to live. Yeah, sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to do that. You can feel sorry for yourself. You can be hurt. I've had some very unhealthy ways of responding to that kind of pressure and pain. But at some point you got to say, but this is my life. I get to make the decisions for my life. But if someone else is paying for your life, some people like that control. And personally, I've never wanted anyone to have that level of control over me, any control over me. Okay? So, if you don't like where you are and you don't like the way you're being treated, have a plan. If somebody is at your home and it's a home that you pay for, it's a home that you work a job to cover, just because they're family, or just because, particularly if it's a friend or someone you're dating or even married to, if you are the one carrying the burden and the weight and the responsibility of taking care of everything, then no. Just say, I'm not comfortable with this conversation. I'm not comfortable with the way you're talking to me. That doesn't mean you have to walk away from them forever. That just means you have to have respect for yourself and say, I'm uncomfortable with the way you're talking to me. I don't feel like I deserve that, and it's not open for discussion. So I'm going to walk away now. You mingle with the others. Or if it's just one-on-one, just say, maybe it's time for you to go home, to your home. If they live with you, then just say, I'm not comfortable with this conversation. I don't deserve this. And walk away. If they explode or come after you, call authorities on their behinds. Seriously, call someone, get them out of there. No one has the right to belittle or harm you in any way. We think we have to take it because we always have taken it. Or maybe we grew up that way. You are now an adult, and you get to decide what you will and won't accept. But with that independence comes responsibility. Okay? I knew when I was a kid, I had to have a place to sleep. I had to have food to eat. I had a little grocery sack with an extra pair of underwear in it, stuck in a corner in a room in case I needed to hurry up and get out. But I always had a plan. You're an adult if you're watching this. And if you are an adult and you're still relying on other people to take care of you, now I understand if, there's some disabilities involved or something like that. I get that. But even then, figure out a way to change your situation. Whether it's a caregiver, whether it's a place, whether it's governmental help, if it's available, whatever it is. I understand it's a little harder to get out of a marriage. But if it's an abusive one, get the authorities involved. Go to a shelter if you have to. I tried to volunteer at a shelter after my divorce. It was just too painful and I couldn't do it. But I made sure, and I dated definitely the wrong people in between and after. And then I spent a long time on my own. You don't have to be confrontational, and you don't have to engage to stand up for yourself and say, I'm not comfortable with this conversation. You have your views, I have mine. We're not going to convince each other to change our minds, and I don't deserve what I feel like is abusive language from you. And if they get uproarious or do whatever, even if other people are around, guess what? It sends a message, and it sends a message fast. If you say, I'm just going to go home now. Because you are taking care of yourself. You are taking care of your needs. But you can only do that if you have a certain level of independence. And yes, I have had to work 2 and 3 jobs before to make that happen. But the price of that was worth the price of my freedom. Thankfully, and after a lot of time alone, making some mistakes again, I do, in my heart of hearts, believe that I have found someone who is a good, solid man, who respects me and my opinions and understands that we are coming together. One is not controlling the other. So I'm not saying you have to be alone the rest of your life, or that you have to walk away from every family member. I was in such a toxic situation growing up, I kind of had to do that. And then when I tried to step back in a little, it was just bad. So too much water under a bridge, so to speak. The bridge had flooded out. You don't have to spend the rest of your life alone, but you do have to stand up for yourself. And that doesn't mean engaging in a fight. And you're not allowing others to win by simply walking away from it. You're not letting them win by controlling you. Okay? That's what it means. You're going to say, they can think what they want. I choose to walk away, so I don't have to be tainted by this negativity. Now, if that's too hard, a lot of people say, but I'm an empath and I feel a lot. Yeah, well, good. Then you know what their real intentions are. It's not about you. It's to make themselves feel more important. So this is your self-help video for today. It might be a little tough love. I'm pretty sure it is. Can't help it. I've just pulled a deck open, the Lenormand. The card of what gets in your head, unhealthy, nibbling away, eating away. That was the mice card in the Lenormand deck. Think about when you have mice maybe under the hood of your car. Something crawls in there in the winter and nibbles away at the wiring and destroys your vehicle. That would suck big time. Same thing. People's words get into your head, into your heart. And sometimes we start believing them. Remember how much you can accomplish when you start focusing on what you need and not to the detriment of anyone else. Prove to yourself that you can do something. That's all you have to do. Okay? All right. So anyway, for what it's worth, I have absolutely no credentials to do this, but if somebody writes a comment, this is the best I can come up with. Independence, self-value, self-worth, don't engage, and walk away. That is what real independence is, when you can walk away from a situation. Okay? All right, I hope that helps. This is my sassy pants. I'm an independent person. So there we go. All right, everybody, enjoy your weekend. Have a good weekend. And if you are in a situation, again, if you need help, get it. Whatever kind of help that is. It's all I'm asking. You do you. You do what's right for you. But my suggestion is think about what you really want and how to go about getting it without thinking about what everyone else wants from you. Okay? All right. And I understand there are special circumstances if you have really young kids involved too. It takes a little more planning. My motto for life has always been have a plan A, have a plan C, B and C. Have a plan A, B, and C. Have plans A, B, and C. And then expect them all to change. But go back to always having a plan. And that plan may be, I want to be happy and valued by me first, because if you can't value yourself, if you can't love yourself, in the words of RuPaul, who else can? With a little bit of an explicative in there. So yeah, it's up to you. And that is scary as all get out, but it's invigorating and it's exciting because it means your life can be yours. No more asking permission. You be you unapologetically. And if you don't want to do something, you don't want to start a business, you don't want to write a book, you just kind of want to go to your job, do your thing, and be able to come home, pay the bills, enjoy yourself, that's fine too. No one has to blaze a trail. No one has to satisfy someone else's needs. We make other people around us happy when we're happy. All right, I hope that makes sense. I'll probably think of something else that was just brilliant that I should have said, but clearly haven't. But yeah, it's sometimes we make it a lot harder than it has to be because emotions are involved. If finances are involved, that's a whole different world of things. So my suggestion, and it's only a suggestion based on my experiences, don't give away your power, don't give away your authority, and don't back yourself into a corner. Always give yourself some options, okay? All right. And if you don't know how, get help. Get help when you need it. Talk to someone. Talk to someone. And I can understand this. I think the scariest part is the financial part, being left without. But once you know you can survive and you have the tools to survive, you can do anything. And then hopefully you learn how to thrive. Okay? All right, I'm sending everyone best wishes. Be well, take care of yourself. Whether it's matters of the heart or political matters, we're all grown-ups. People will figure things out one way or the other on their own, or they won't, but that's up to them. You take care of you. Okay. Be well. Take care. And the next time you see me, I'll be here with a reading. All right. We'll be back to our normal. Bye-bye. Hope my clicker works. No, it doesn't. So you know what? Who cares? I'm just here a little longer. Bye-bye.